Welcome back to another episode of Deeper Than Sports, and today, guys, we got a special one for you with the almighty Jeff Carmody. Now, man, he's a man of many hats. We're going to get down to all that on today. Matter of fact, we're going to have a great time just conversating and loving on him today a little bit, taking you through and getting a little insight from him on some of the things he's doing, some of the things he's done, and how he got to where he got to. But to kick it off, this guy has been such an impact to so many of us, myself personally, as well as my two best friends. And today, we're going to dive deep into it. So without further ado, Jeff, we want to thank you for having us on today, man.
For sure. I appreciate it, man. It's an honor. It's an honor,
Absolutely.
honor to sit here with you guys. So
Absolutely.
It's been a while, so I'm glad to just see your faces.
Yeah, I'm going right to it, and CB and E, y'all got to back me up on this. But when Jeff was on the sideline at Preston, he was so turned up, bro.
Jeff was the eyes, he was the ears, he was everything.
He was everything,
I remember
bro.
him pointing out, Serge, he got cramps, he's got cramps.
Hey, bro, Jeff. So I played corner, and so
at our rival high school.
yeah. So they was our rival. I went to Ottawa. They all went to Creston, but they're my best friends, and so we really grew up together and played together. So my transfer didn't go through, and I'll dive into that another time. But long story short, playing corner, you're on an island. Yeah. But I'm next to
Go
Jeff.
at him. Go at him.
I'm next to Jeff. I'm next to Jeff, and he talking so crazy.
Go at 21. Go at him. Chris is looking to the sideline.
He used to have the game so lit, man. He was so turned up. I had to kick us off with that in case Jeff didn't know how much of a nuisance he was on the sideline.
I remember that, bro. That was our senior year when Serge got the cramp.
Yep.
He ran down the sideline to spark. He's got number one's got cramp. We ran fade 3 times in a row.
Jeff was a scout before scouting was what it is today. Jeff was all ears. He was a guy in the booth seeing stuff on the field, but he was right there on the sideline in the mix of everything, man. But Jeff, man, I just want to tell you, your energy from a competitive standpoint, from an elite athlete standpoint, you used to have us, even as an opponent, like, man, I gotta shut this guy up on the sideline. But it all in fun and good health. It was a blast, man, to have you yelling and talking your talk.
Yeah, it was just as fun for me, man. It was kind of easy because, you know, you got me fresh out of school.
Yeah. So you
played at Ferris like CB over there. So I was already in my blood. It wasn't out yet. Right? It was still I still had more left in the tank.
There you go.
Yeah, man. How was it for you being able to be on the sidelines and coach these guys and then see not only where they started, where the program started, what Sparky was able to do, then just to see the rise and the success they end up having?
You know, I was just rapping with E a little bit on it, and it was just a special time in my life. Man. It was, and to be honest with you, one of my proudest moments.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because to work with young kids and to watch them develop, and not only that, to look back and see the success that came out of that team, and the friendships. I mean, lifelong friendships with guys that weren't too much younger than me.
There you go.
I'm an old guy, but, you know, I mean, and these guys, you know, we worked together in the off season. They helped me out in our restaurant, and got to know their families really well. So it was to see the success.
It was deeper than sports.
It was, you know, and that's why I brought it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I saw kids that had opportunity. And they just needed some people to guide them with that opportunity. Yeah. And whether it was on the field or in life, every day when we were practicing, when we were working out, there were lessons to be made that I think would, you know, carry on in life. And when you teach it, it's one thing, but to see them deliver it and to see what they're doing, what you guys are doing today, it's a proud thing, you know, and we were talking about, man, they should do a documentary on that, because, I mean, to see, you know, CB have some NFL opportunities and 5 guys on that team to go to that next level, and I think, you know, 9 that went on to play, you know, some competitive college football.
Yep.
You don't see that often, and
very rare.
And not in this state to have that much success off of, and on top of it, an inner city school.
Yeah.
That was transformed
Yep.
overnight.
Yep.
You know, it was
Exactly.
when Sparky came to me and said, hey, man, I need your help.
How did that happen?
We've
man?
won like 2 games in the last 10, the last few years. And he's like, we need to bring some winning teams. Well, he came in, I was working at our bar, and I was just, grinding, working 80-hour weeks. And he came in, he's like, man, would you have any interest in coaching? I'm like, I'd love to if I could ever get out of here. So he's like, I just need 4 hours a week.
Yeah.
4 hours a week.
Sold it.
And I said, if that's not including game time, then I'm in. Yeah. And so he worked his practice schedule to where, 2 days a week. And then it turned into where I loved it so much that I was like, looking at some of my managers, cover for me. I need to be there. I need to be there, man, because we were having so much fun.
Yeah.
I know everybody might not know, but Jeff gave me and CB a job at B-Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings, and part of that was, one, we needed to gain some weight. Yeah. We couldn't wait to work there, too. We got a chance to see you work beyond the field. All the lessons you guys were teaching us on the field, but to see you work the 80-hour weeks, to see you bartend and be in the kitchen and front of the house, back of the house, do everything was kind of, we had to continue that as well and tie our work life. So,
Jeff, that was the thing. It major kudos, son. We're gonna dive into that, but that was the thing for me. Like we come from the struggle, we come from the trenches, and you provided opportunity. I tell the story to this day, so people see the end result of where we're at today. But I say my best friend Eric been working and had a work history longer than all of us. But you helped plant that seed. You saw work ethic as an athlete. He was a good worker within the restaurant. And then, boom, he's been able to carry that now to be able to provide for his family. Same opportunities you gave to CB. So outside looking in, I'm looking like not only is he cool as hell, but that's dope as hell. He's providing opportunity for guys to make money, to guys to help their families out. You know what I'm saying? We come from households, man, that sometimes we ain't making ends meet. They need that little money that they're bringing in to get that bill paid. And so although we get celebrated on Saturday nights or Friday nights, it was more meaningful than you may have even known. And I always saluted you for that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But, I wasn't brought up given things, and I credit that to the way I was raised by my dad and my grandparents that were hard workers, and it wasn't all given. And I think that's a missing ingredient today.
Yes, it is.
Is work ethic.
Yes, it is.
In our business, I tell often our managers and I tell people that I interview is I could take a 10th grader out of a local high school and teach them the initiatives that we do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
But what I can't teach them is, do you have the ability to captivate 30, 40 team members and get them to deliver for you?
Yeah.
And I think that's the missing ingredient. And, I learned through great coaches. I learned through people in our business. I learned through first day cashiers. I learned from heart of the house team members at cooks of ours, when I walk into our establishments. And it's, I just try to keep an open eye on where I can learn.
Yeah. I love that, man. You've been a blessing more than you know. I'm gonna dive into some of that, but looking at your portfolio of restaurants, walk us through BW3s and then how everything else kind of manifested or was birthed from that. What even got you into food? You are an athlete, man. You are an entrepreneur. You're so many things. Like I said, a man of many hats. But what got you in that realm? What got you going down that path?
Well, it goes back to my dad and my mom. It was something where when there was off time, if it wasn't sports, you were working, and it was go get a job. So it was at a young age working in restaurants and working in dish pits and working online and learning a little bit about the business and how it operates. But I wasn't really paying close attention as a kid. And how it all started was my dad and a really good buddy of mine. I was actually a hockey player before a football player. And our dads would travel on tournaments all the time. And they would hang out at sports bars in between games. And I always heard him say, man, someday we should open up our own sports bar.
Yeah.
Well, my dad was fortunate enough to have a business that did well. And my brother was playing football in Sweden after his career at Ferris State, and his career was coming to an end. And my dad said, hey, look, I got this opportunity to open up a you know, a franchise. He's like, but I don't want to really be in the day-to-day stuff. That's for you.
Right?
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was
back, Jeff.
I was a senior getting ready to go play football at Ferris. I'm like, Dad, you think I have time to open up a bar, you know? And my brother's like, you know, I'll do it. And so in the off season, we got together, and I would work. I'd come down on my off days, and that's kind of how it started.
Okay.
And then we just, when I graduated, the family partner of ours, the Ward family, we kind of all sat down and said, we got something special here. Let's try to move this needle a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it started.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, we opened up our first location in '94 at Central Michigan, Mount Pleasant.
Okay.
And we didn't know what we were doing, but we just learned through the trials and errors. I
There you go.
mean, we just,
Let's tell Jeff about our Detroit boys. Detroit didn't have a BW3s.
Yeah.
So
I went the JUCO route, so this is how we met all these guys from Detroit.
yeah,
There's
so
no JUCO inside. It's the only JUCO places Michigan, and it was here in Grand Rapids. None in Indiana, none in Ohio, and nowhere else in Michigan.
So all the talent that didn't go Central Michigan, Ferris, Michigan State, they came to JUCO.
Yeah.
So he came from, he had a son, he came back from Ferris. See, he had JUCO still pursuing his dreams. So we met all these Detroit guys.
Yeah, bring them to be done.
Jeff. We brought them all to B-Dubs. But Jeff, if you ever need some reviews,
Yeah, these is the guys.
go call on Detroit.
hey, we can use it. We can,
Man,
use it. Give me their numbers,
they
man.
love B-Dubs,
Yep,
and they
the
talk
wings, the atmosphere, everything.
everything.
Yeah.
He was you working there or y'all? You
No, I wasn't working there at the time because I was actually doing the football stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I took them up there like on a Tuesday. It was still 50 cent wings at that time.
Yeah.
They were going crazy.
Probably 25 cents.
Might have been
Yeah,
25
25.
cents. Yeah.
Dang.
Jeff, I want to rewind back. I was just telling Coach this upstairs. Is like, you know, when we had that job. First of all, it's uncommon for inner city guys to get a hookup.
Yep.
Like, we don't get hookups, and you know what I mean, for us to get that job. And then I'll just remember, Flash is just you constantly working, constantly moving, just 100 miles per hour all the time. I know he caught us a couple times sitting there.
Yeah. Sit down.
I used to be like,
Right.
CB,
Yeah.
Give me 20. Give me 20. Take a laugh.
like, man, you got me this time. But I was
Jeff never
just thinking,
sit
like,
down.
man, like, dang, as kids, sometimes you take things for granted. But then I seen your work ethic, like he said. You know, sometimes you have to cashier, then you helping a bartender, you managing. And I think being a CEO, you got to wear all those different hats. You know what I mean? Because I have bartenders coming, I got to show you how to bartend. You know what I mean? You got to
Change
be
your keg,
a
everything.
hostess. You know what I mean? Got to be to build our relationship. I say you talk to numerous people, and you know when people have their favorite restaurant, especially sports bar, they're gonna be going constantly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where Jeff at?
Where
You know
Jeff?
what I mean?
Jeff?
So I just looking back, reflecting back, and I'm like, man, you had all these hats on in BW3s, and what we do, you gotta have multiple hats. So I definitely admire that about you, Coach, on that. You know what I mean? That was huge, just your work ethic. Like,
Yeah, you know, it's I was told one of the things my brother always said to me. He's like, because I needed his advice going to play. He was there at Ferris 4 years before me, and he said, and it always rung in my ears. It was always, you know, I could hear that voice, and he's like, don't be afraid of your deficiencies. Work on your deficiencies.
Yeah.
So don't shy away from things that you're not good at. Those are areas that you need to focus on. You know, so when I was in the restaurants, it's the same like with athletes, right? If you're weak on your left,
Yeah, work on the left.
you got to work on the left, right?
yeah,
So it's the same thing, right? In the business world, what are your deficiencies? If you shy away from those,
You'll never get good.
you're not
at
going
it.
to get better, right? So it was something that when I was running sports bars in the four walls was focusing on. I got to put myself in situations where I can learn the deficiencies of this operation, because if I can find people to help me with those deficiencies and teach them, it's just going to make my job easier. So
That's a good way to look at it, man.
yeah.
I never heard
yeah,
that.
and it's I still you know, my roles always change in our company, and we're faced with different challenges. But I seek people that are great in certain aspects of the business, right? And I'm asking them questions. How do you do this? And because we have so much talent, like we did when we were coaching you guys, and we looked at players and said, "Man, this dude right here, he's going to be a great tight end and a badass defensive end."
Yeah.
So, but we got to work with him on his deficiencies. So that's one of the things that I've always.
That's nice.
And I share that knowledge with my kids right now, getting involved with sports. My son's a lacrosse player, and he's a lefty, right? But he's got to get better at his right.
Yeah.
Got to put some work in on that right.
So he's got to work on those things. But just in life, right? I think there's a lot of correlation with athletics, not only with people, but how they relate to each other, right? With business, and I think that's why you guys are so successful, and so many guys off of that team were successful because they learned at an early age how to relate to different people. I mean, we had a melting pot there at Crescent, right? It was, which was
beneficial for everybody.
Great benefit, So those things, that's life, right? And you got to put yourself in challenging situations. I've been blessed to be forced into challenging situations. Not all of them I asked for, but it's like when you're running the business, you got to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Jeff, speaking of challenges, that was one thing I have for you today, man. The challenges of running a restaurant post-COVID and through COVID. I already know I ain't gonna even take your thunder, but walk through some of the things and some of the challenges just running restaurants. The restaurant business, for those that don't know, in and of itself is a tough business. You know what I'm saying? And without even counting staffing, without even counting food, and just keeping customers happy, it's a tough business. COVID added a whole other dynamic that
several more layers.
I want you to speak to some of the challenges you had and how are you able to navigate, or if you still navigating them.
Well, I mean, I think initially, man, it was what are we gonna do?
Right.
We have at the time we had just partnered with another group of restaurants, and we literally doubled the size of our organization, partnered with an equity group, and so our company was merging two groups together, and we're in our kickoff meeting, trying to strategize how we're gonna form two companies together, which is hard enough as it is. Yep. And the next thing you know, we're in Atlanta, and my phone's going off, and you guys know March Madness it's our busiest time of the year. And my phone's going off. I'm looking at my phone. GMs are like, "Are you watching? They're gonna cancel out the tournament." I'm like reading these texts. We're all like, "What is going on?" Because it hit that fast.
Yeah.
And then we literally got on planes and said, "We need to get back to our restaurants and figure this out." And our first thing was, we wanted to make sure that we protected our people as much as possible and keep people employed and working. And so our first obligation was to keep our salaried managers and not furlough them. They work hard. They're our runners of our operations. So we took a time out. We reassessed our situation and said, we need to move straight to takeout and figure this out. So our business literally got cut.
At least in half.
More than that. I mean, we dropped about 80% overnight. And then, through that process, and we talked about deficiencies, we learned deficiencies in our takeout operation through that process. So we went back to our restaurants and we said, you know what, we need to do this better than everybody else. We were fortunate that we had a takeout platform with wings and those types of things. So hats off to the people that work for us, because it was no more, I got this title, I do this, and we've never been a title-driven organization. It's
team members, man.
How do we work together, and how do we get through this? Because there were managers looking me in the eye going, am I going to lose my job tomorrow?
It's a great time for everybody.
And there was a lot of sleepless nights I think with a lot of leaders in our organization. But you know what? I think during hard times, you learn a lot. And we learned a lot. We got through it. And to be honest with you, I think our future in our business, because we outperformed our competitors, I think we're going to have a stronger future, because I think it's diluted the industry a little bit. And the strong will continue to move. But it's been a challenge. And it's been a challenge. It still is a challenge today. The workforce has changed. I mean, you can go down the streets and look at count the neon signs that say now hiring.
It's crazy.
And but that's the challenge that we have. We need to show that we're a welcoming place for people to work. We have a great support system, and that's one of the things that we try to inform this new wave of labor is. Look, you can get a restaurant job anywhere. Yeah. You can go somewhere else tomorrow. But we're here for you. We're a family-oriented operation, and we're there for our team. And I think that word's getting out. Yeah. And I think that's why we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. We're not there yet. But I think our leaders have become stronger in our units. So we'll see what the future holds. You know what I mean? That's one thing that we can't control, and that's what I told them and our team and my brother's voice to the whole organization and our partner Kent Ward is we gotta be better than everybody else. Yeah. And we talk about a grind. It was a grind, and it still is today. It's been a very challenging couple years. But
I want to show your brother some love. I want to shout him out as well. You and him, to me, are not only a dynamic duo, but like this was years ago, man. I was looking you and him up for just both of y'all going to fairs, both of y'all going into business. And I'm an athlete, but I always had a business mind. So I was big on how do you transition when you're done playing the game and then start that next chapter, that next act. I looked to you guys years ago, and I saw what you and your brother was doing. I always want to salute you for being models to follow and models worth emulating. Athletic background, so I resonated with that. Work ethic, I resonated with that. Good people person, I resonated with that. And so I was able to glean from you and him, and but make it my own. Sprinkle some stuff from you all into what I do. And so I just couldn't go without saying major salute to both of you guys as a tandem. I know he speaks life into you. I know he motivates you. I know you lean on him, and that's the role of a big brother. And so for you to have that, for you to follow in his footsteps to fairs, all of that, I just want to say salute. So I couldn't leave him out of this episode.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and he would too. So
yeah,
I'll make sure I let
Brian
him
work
know.
hard just like Jeff. Brian don't take no breaks.
Yeah, he don't.
Yeah, he's celebrating 50 this week. So
Okay.
I'll make sure I bring that up over a couple.
Happy
There we
birthday,
go.
Brian.
Happy birthday, Brian.
Yeah.
So-
I've been blessed to. It's one thing, right, to be able to. You have family members, but sometimes when you're in a business, and especially with two families, because you guys might not know the Ward family who we got in business with, but a lot of times family dynamics can get challenging.
Yeah.
Because, and one of the things, that's what my brother always stated in our partnership, we have always stated that, look, when we get into this green room, when we walk out, we'll never put our business in front of our relationships with each other, because family's family, right? So we're going to have hard talks and hard conversations, but it's for the business.
Yeah.
But when we walk out of this room, you're my brother.
Yeah.
You're my dad. You're my best friend, and you're like a second dad to me. So that's kind of it's special. You know what I mean? And it takes, I think, people to have a clear understanding of what their roles are, but also the unselfishness of title, or my word is the only word, and we've all, taken our shots and delivered our shots as well, but we all do it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And I think that's I think those things you learn, right, in athletics and watching other people do their thing. So.
Jeff, on a lighter note, man, working at B-Dubs and being around there, I seen every single Floyd Mayweather fight. From like 17 to forever that I was in there. Wrestling matches. So like that was the place to be. For all sporting events. That was it.
I'll never forget. First time I met Floyd, right? I'm this young kid in college, and I didn't know anything about the boxing thing, right? I'm from the northern suburbs of Detroit. I didn't watch much boxing. I was hockey, football, and so I get done working at Ferris, and somebody's like, I hear all this commotion up front,
Yeah.
right? And back then we were like a bar, right?
Yeah.
We were charging cover,
Yeah.
and all this stuff. Is way different than what our concept is now.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I think we moved in a better direction. But one of my managers is like, hey man, Floyd's here. And I said, Floyd? Who's Floyd?
Right.
He's like, Mayweather. And I'm like, who's that? He's like, one of the best boxers.
Yeah, you just read it
Walked
off.
there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I walk out and I see this dude like this big coming in. And I'm like, this dude's walks up. He's got his entourage of people. But class act.
Yeah.
He came into our restaurants. He treated our people so well. We always welcome him when he comes into town. You know, a lot of people think differently because they don't get to know them, and that's one of the things that drives me nuts about people watching social media and those types of things that may push athletes to be this, but he was a consummate professional. He came in, he treated our people great, was always thankful. And you know, he's a Grand Rapids icon.
Yeah, for sure.
I was glad I got to be able to meet him, and you know, then I got a relationship where he used to call, or his agent used to call and say, hey, we're bringing
100 people.
100 people. And it was like, okay, how are we going to pull this off, man? We can't fit another 10 dudes. We got to fit 100.
Right.
You know, but he was always a class act. And, and the people that followed him, too, they were very respectful. And it was, I remember those nights.
Those nights were
And
crazy.
then fight nights were, you know,
Yeah.
we'd have a
Standing
line
room
down the
only.
street.
Yeah.
People wanted to get in, you know.
Yeah.
Why can't you let me in? I'm like, we can't let another person in here, man. We're going to have the fire department in here.
Fire. I remember that.
So those were some fun times.
Yeah, that was a good time. Man.
Yeah.
So I know we talked upstairs a little bit, and you mentioned how the last 2 years you've been working more than the last 10 years, how it's been hectic. And you talked about your children. So how can you find that balance now, since you know work has picked up for you?
Man, I've been blessed to be married to somebody that's my support valve.
There you go.
And she allows me to make that balance, man. Without her, I couldn't do the things that I do, you know. So it's a team effort. You guys are all parents, and you know what that better half means. And we got great communication, you know. It's not easy because the business that I'm in, I can get a call here in the next 5 minutes and
Gotta
have
go.
to figure something else out. So she's been around it enough. Luckily, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
And we were together years before that, so she's been around it.
Yeah.
But we're tight. We're really good friends, and you know, she's been that staple. So
Nice.
that's what's allowed me to do that. But
She was at Ferris?
yeah. She's a bulldog. She's a bulldog.
Okay.
Big year for the dog.
Yeah, it was too. It was. Speaking of that, I see you at the Ferris games, and I see you. Speak to that. How is it going, and being an alumni and being on that championship run with the?
It's been
Bulldog.
awesome, man. I've been fortunate to actually got to know Tony through Sparky and coaching at Crest. I mean, we had the battle with Muskegon. So when I got to meet Tony, Sparky kind of filled him in on who I was, and we hit it off right away. So he's been he took the baton from Coach Pierce, and I think he's just taken it to a different level.
Definitely.
The guy's, you know, I've been around the game a little bit, but I haven't seen anybody like him. He's a dynamic coach, and I learn a lot from him on how he can sustain success. You know, so we have a lot of talks, and we've become real close friends, and so it's been fun to be around the program and watch the growth. But it's been fun too to watch the players and get to know some of the players and be a part of the alumni. And I think that's key, right, to any university. It's not just because you were All-American or all this. You know, I think the good programs welcome all alumni. And you served your time here, and you deserve to be a part of the program. And I think that's what he's established there is he welcomes. It doesn't matter if a kid was a, you know, special team or whatever, he brings them back on campuses, you know, the campus, and makes them feel part of the program and the success. And that's why you're seeing so much growth and the train's rolling up there.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
they should have an opportunity to win it again this year, and that's the hats off to the what
They got a good thing.
we've
going.
started and you guys started, and then these guys are just taking it to a different level. So it's
Jeff, you guys were the building blocks. They added to it, and then that Anise era just helped realize what you guys started.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how we like to look at it.
yeah, man.
Yeah. Jeff, what about talk about how Smashburger, Kitchen 67, and some of those other entities, how do they tie into what you do?
So Kitchen 67 wasn't part of our group, but we've always wanted to diversify and get involved with other concepts. We learned by them, right? So we've learned from some, and I wouldn't say mistakes. We did the Smashburger brand. It's a great brand. We wanted to take it to a different level and grow a little bit at a larger capacity. And when we got into our third location, it just wasn't one of those that we wanted to put enough effort in to grow it at a larger rate. They were great people at the corporation. They've got a great brand. We really fell in love with the brand. But we got to the point where we wanted to take our business and grow on a different level. And it's like one of those things, right, where you buy a car and you think it's going to be the sweetest car, and you get in it, you drive it for a while, and you're like, it's not that great. I'd rather drive this one. And that's kind of what happened with that brand. We've dabbled in some other brands. We've had some partnerships with BlackRock that we're currently in, and we've had some other entities that we've tried that didn't succeed. And you learn through those. So any opportunities that we look that we can advance our career of our team members, if you got capital, it's one thing, but if you don't have the people, that's what makes our business tick. And I couldn't say enough of the people that we have in our organization. It's not just the Brian and Jeff show or the Kent Ward show. We have so many people that are working right now that are way more important than me sitting here on this couch that are delivering to our guests every day. And that's where our success has come from.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is a lot is just about, in your position as entrepreneur, CEO, being the servants of others, servant. So my thing is for you is, what are some qualities in your position that you must have? Like some qualities that you must have to be able to continue to be an entrepreneur? Because you talked about a lot of different things that, you and your brother and your corporation are into. So what are some things that you must have?
To be honest with you, that's a tough question. I think you have to have a little bit of everything. And I've always just had the mindset that I'm going to learn from as many people as I possibly can. There are managers of mine, like I said, that have great qualities that I can learn from. But I think in any leadership position, you have to have the openness to communicate. I think communication's key. You got to let people know how and the reasons why you're delivering certain messages. I think you have to have the openness. You can't be a clock puncher. I think if you're going to be successful in business, you got to understand that there's a sacrifice in your life and your lifestyle that's you need to be open to your people. And then I also think just being able to share great ideas, right? It's no different than when we practice. I mean, when we'd have conversation with CB, what do you think about this? You know what I mean? Hey, when they come out in this formation, give me a play that you would want to run. And I remember Sparky saying, you tell me, CB, what are you going to run? You know what I mean? And that's learning. That's sharing knowledge, right? That's sharing. It's allowing other people that have talent to give them a sense of ownership, because I think one of the things that when we started to really become successful as an organization is we offered ownership from our team members. And that ownership is not necessarily we did it through profit sharing and not only that, but creating boards where we allowed those people to say, this is something that we feel is wrong with the organization, and we sat there and listened to it. We want you to you work for our organization. How can we get better? You know what I mean? So I think there's many avenues there, but it's just finding good people and surrounding yourself with good people, I think, is a channel to success in anything that you can do. So, and it's just constantly building that network. So,
being a successful business owner, Jeff, I know it takes a lot of your time. What does Jeff Carmody do for fun?
Oh man, this time of year, that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Water.
on the water, man. I'm a water guy. I love to fish. My brother and I take a few trips a year. We do a lot of saltwater fishing. I love that's like a passion of mine.
Okay.
Nice.
Anything outdoors, man. Anything with my kids.
There we go.
You know, but I'm into sports, all sports.
There we go.
You know, yeah.
That's amazing, man. That's
winter, you know, on the skis a little bit.
Salt water. What have you grabbed out of the ocean or any salt water place?
Well, recently, a couple weeks ago, I caught a 13-foot hammerhead shark.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool experience.
Nice.
But that's like a bucket list for me. Is like, it's just what's the next species I can catch.
Okay.
So that's some of the things that I try to wrap my free time around when
There
I
we
do
go.
that.
That's a good one.
Man. That's
Yeah.
nice.
So-
Jeff, you've been instrumental in giving back, and as I said when we kicked this off, you've been a blessing to myself and my organization, Grand City Sports. We do a lot in the community, and I'm gonna tell you firsthand how your dollars bless people in ways. Sometimes when you guys are writing a check, or if you guys are giving food or whatever it may be, it's blessing and touching lives in ways sometimes the donor doesn't know. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to
be overlooked.
Exactly. I want you to know that first and foremost. Secondly, giving and philanthropy is huge, but where did your spirit for that come from?
I'd have to say my family upbringing. You know, my parents were always putting people first. My house on the weekends, my dad was a grinder and successful, so we were able to entertain a lot.
Okay.
I mean, my house on a Saturday afternoon was full of kids, and my mom cooking tacos for everybody in the neighborhood, and they always just taught that. I mean, they were both. My dad came from my grandpa worked for Detroit Edison. They had a family of 11. Grew up in Detroit, and you know, knew that. Hey, I was there. I know how. I know the challenges that are there for people that can't get out. And when you're blessed as I am, and whether it's you know, health through my health or through my business, anything that I can do to help out the community. You know, and that's one of the things. That's the reason why I coached at Crescent. It wasn't, you know, I told Sparky, I'm not doing this to get paid, man. Give that to somebody else. Give that to somebody else. It's just, this is what I like to do. I enjoy helping out where I can. I would love to be able to, you know, do more of it. It's when you're exposed in this business, everybody's like, yeah, can you help me out here? Can you help me out there? And but our organization, we hang our hats on giving back, and our partners, we believe in that, and you know,
That's amazing.
it's something that we'll continue to do. So
we salute you, man. We appreciate you, and we love you for it. 'Cause like I said, man, the lives you touch, and it's been thousands upon thousands, because we get it in. And like we use sports, but sports was just a hook. We just wanted to reel the kids in. We wanted them to be civic leaders, responsible adults, advanced learners. But we knew we had to put somebody that looked like them in front of them, that's going to, like, we've been them already. Nothing that the three of us, and if we add you in it, Jeff, nothing that the four of us have done that they're going to try to do what we already done. And so it was important for us to not only be present, be accessible. We want them to be able to reach us, text us, call us. and we stay in the community trying to do something to be visible and active. But your support helped us accomplish that kind of stuff, even if it was from afar. Or like E always tell him, like, bro, call Jeff. I'm coming to
Set
be
the wings up for after the camp.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I mean, it's impressive what you've done. I know I followed you for quite some time, and what you, all three of you guys have done, you know, with your community efforts and not only coaching athletics, but just coaching people in life. And, you know, I know that you've developed some relationships with friends of mine in the restaurant industry, and they all speak very highly of what you've done in the community, and those are all great things. I mean, I think that's what our country just needs to get better at, right? It's just is supporting each other and moving in the right direction, and you know, teaching our kids that as well. So, and that's one of the things as a parent that I just, you know, I want to see I want my kids to see me work, right? Because that's something you got to do if you want to.
It's something you got to emulate so they see it.
Yeah.
Just like these two. We love you, Jeff, but they seen you get it in. They seen you work the front of the house, the back of the house. Like, they seen it, so they don't got no excuse. If your kids see it, and I see you always with them and showing them the way, but when they see it, they can't deny it. Once you see something, oh, my dad worked hard. People say we got nice stuff, but he worked hard for this. Or I always seen him working, taking calls, having to go to a meeting, jumping on a plane for this. Then he come home and spend time with us. You know what I'm saying? So your kids is taking it in. I love your approach to fatherhood and how you're going about it, especially in their era of social media and how prevalent it is versus me and your era.
Right,
Yeah.
outside.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a different
Different
game. Yeah.
Different beast.
Definitely a different beast.
Another question I want to express. You mentioned about the challenging of getting workers because of the remote learning or the remote workers and different things of that nature. So what are some strategies that your organization is coming to hands like, hey, man, we need to do this to be able to get people to work for us now?
We did some recruiting benefits.
Okay.
So through our staff that would bring in a friend to work, we would give them
That's big. Yeah,
bonuses.
a lot of people do that.
So we did a little bit of that. You know, the biggest thing is you know, really taking the emphasis, and one of the things that I have always, you know, kind of our motto, especially here in West Michigan, is just let's be hard on standards but easy on people. And I think we're in an environment, right? We're serving chicken wings and beer. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not. We're in the entertainment business, but we also have to entertain our team members. I think some of the things that we're trying to focus our approach on is having fun in the work environment, because work can be fun if you surround yourself with people that have the same outlook with work, right? Some people, man, I got to be here today. Yeah. And it's our jobs as leaders to say, yeah, but you're here, man. Yeah. So let's have fun because energy is contagious. Yeah. And so we're more focusing on not just paying for people to play, but come to a nice environment and work in a great facility. Yeah. Where things are going to get tense, but that's part of the industry. But let's have fun while we do it. And I've been very fortunate to be around a group of leaders and our general managers at our locations and our assistant managers that bring that every day. And it's not an easy climate to do that. But I think that's where we're winning. We're starting, our retainment is starting to stick. But it's constant, man. It's a constant effort to figure that out right now in this labor force. So.
Yeah, man. The same thing for me is, you know, coaching kids. Like, it's different now. You know what I mean? And
I can imagine.
You know, we got summer workouts, you know, and it's a lot of kids not showing up. You know what I mean?
There's other stuff better to do with the summer break right now.
Yeah, man. And, you know, and I dive back and, you know, I have to ask questions. I ask some of our players, what is there some things that I'm doing wrong? Like, what are we doing, coach, man? They just lazy. You know, got kids coming out for one day, you know. we work them hard, they don't show up again. You know, we got kids that's playing in a private league program because it's a lot easier. There's no expectations. You know, I got 4 or 5 kids, so I'm running through the same challenges. You know?
Yeah, and I think it's a parent problem, right? I think it's and you know, some people are given the unfortunate situations where they don't have that. Their parents aren't there. But you know, it is a part of when you work in certain operations and I would say that our GMs will probably say that I feel like I'm a parent when I'm at work.
Yep.
So I don't have a magic wand to say how to fix that.
Right.
I think it's going to be hopefully a cultural shift that we can continue to teach better things and better vision on why you're here. You know, what is your career path? What do you want to do with life? And you know, those are the things that we're focusing on. Is hey, I'm very proud to say that in West Michigan that my average tenure on my general managers is 15 years with our company.
That's amazing.
And in our industry, that's unheard of.
Right.
And that's a challenge, but I think it's because we form relationships with these people, not just you work for me and you're just this. You know what I mean? I truly care. I truly care about all the team members. One of the saddest days I've ever had was this past week. I lost a 20-year veteran in our organization that's going on to do something else. I can't blame him. We can only provide so much, and we can only grow our organization at a certain capacity. Yeah. So I wish him luck. Yeah. But I think showing the why you're here, and also the opportunities that we have. Yeah. Come in here, grind, do the right things. And look, I want to take care of you. I'm going to take care of your, you know, if you show a great work ethic, you're a great team player. Like I said, we're not hiring, you know, 4.0 Cornell grads.
There you go. Hard work does not go unnoticed.
Yeah, it's an industry that you got to get in. You got to be good with people. You got to learn how to communicate. But we try to build our 4 walls with people that are inside our 4 walls. To be honest with you, I love finding candidates in our 4 walls that are cooks. And when I go into locations, I'm asking our managers, who's your best cook? Right? All right, cool. Hey, so-and-so, come here. This manager's talked to me about you. You're a great team player. You're doing all this. Have you ever thought of this as being a career path for you? You know, so having conversations like that, now that person goes, what? What do you mean? I don't even, do I need a resume? No, your resume is what you've been
hard
doing.
work.
Exactly.
You know, and I would say that probably, you know, majority of my tenured managers are managers that have come within hourly ranks, that were hourly team members of ours that probably didn't think they would have a career opportunity, and now they're very successful, you know. You know, have raised great families and live in, you know, are doing very well for themselves. But yeah, so that in our industry, that's, you know, that's something. But I couldn't imagine on the coaching side of those challenges, because you have them for a short window, right?
Yep, a couple hours.
Yeah. So it's how do I get in front of 70 players or 60 players and have those conversations? You could spend your whole week doing that, right? So I'm sure that's a challenge. Yeah.
Jeff, speaking of moving on and you having your 15, 20-year guy go on to his next endeavor, and that's major, by the way. That's something else we need to salute. Just the tenure of your GMs and your people that stick around. That says a lot too. But what's next for Jeff Carmody, and what's next for business? Like I say, you learned a lot being in this game, having success in this game of entrepreneurship, of business, of running successful restaurants. What do you say the next 3 to 5 years look like for you personally and professionally?
Personally, to be the best dad and husband I could possibly be. And I try to, sometimes I allow the professionalism to break that path. And fortunately, I have a wife that reminds me of that.
There you go. Fortunately.
Yeah, fortunately.
Yeah.
And I am fortunate for that because I told her if I ever bring work home, I need you to remind me that.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy times right now. And just to be the best dad that I possibly can be. I'm developing my blood, my child into a future that I'm unaware of what's going to happen, right? So
You just want to be equipped.
yeah, and I want to spend as much time as I possibly can. It's that balancing act. So on a professional level, I'm all about creating opportunity for our people. That's why I do the job that I do. I'm currently in a role, a newer role of director of operations in the state of Michigan, and I think we have a great group of people.
Yeah.
But I know we can insulate our company more with developing people to next level management.
Yeah.
And that's my goal. I love when I can meet with somebody and say, "Congrats, you've elevated yourself to this position."
Awesome. Best feeling in the world.
And that's what we've been fortunate to be successful as business operators. I don't need much more than what I got. But the industry that we're in is getting. I look at it as it's challenging, but I like the challenge.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn some things along the way, meeting new people in our organization. You only have so many moments in a day to where, I mean, we've got 50 some restaurants in Michigan that I don't get to, right? So I want to get more entrenched in those stores and help people along the way. And also to build relationships. I love building relationships with our people and getting to know more people. When we merged our company together with another organization, we brought in some great talent that I haven't gotten entrenched with because it was during COVID. So now that hopefully, COVID's in the rearview mirror a little bit, we can start progressing, and that's what I'm looking forward to from a professional standpoint. And we are launching a new brand called Corktown Pizza Company. We're opening up our first location in Petoskey this fall.
Congrats. They gonna plug you up there in Petoskey.
Yeah, so hopefully we can take that brand and do something with it and create some more opportunity for people that are within our organization. So excited for just that to grow, or just continue to grow.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Y'all got anything else for Jeff?
That sounds amazing.
Hey, I like I said, man, I'm just happy to rap with you guys.
Yeah,
I ran into you guys at the sushi house not too long ago, and I was like, man, I love seeing these dudes. I told Sparky, I'm like, we gotta get the guys together. I said, I'll host it. Let's do something
So
here.
speaking of that,
Bring some of those guys out.
we got to do that, Jeff. And
Yeah.
we wanted to at least brainstorm a documentary of that journey. We thought about you. Mind you, it take a lot to pull all this stuff together, but just know the work, the brainstorming been happening. Like, man, we got to talk to Jeff. We got to get Spark. We got to get any Turner Rule. We got to get some players, Do-Rod.
Yeah.
Like, we want to galvanize and mobilize you guys together and kind of, because you mentioned Floyd Mayweather, and I look up to Floyd business-wise. I emulate you. I emulate Floyd. I emulate successful people, and I've been able to scale the things that I do by gleaning from good people. And one thing we don't do is recognize our own. Creston, in my opinion, never got the recognition. I'm talking about from the city. The love didn't pour in the way if they did this in Detroit. Detroit would have ran with this in such a way that they would have just built powerhouse after powerhouse with leveraging that. We don't do that. Floyd oftentimes talk about his difficulty in coming back because, to your point, some of the things that they'll portray in the media, but then it tarnishes his experience when he's back home. We do that too often as opposed to celebrating and elevating. And I'm looking like, I was telling the guys, like, man, if we can recapture your guys' run, some of the untold stories.
Yes, there's a lot of stories, man. We were talking about it before you guys rolled in. And I was actually talking to Sparky about them we get together every so often, man. We just laugh. But if you could find somebody that was in the production business, you could take the football movies, Friday Night Lights, and all those, and just say, this is the real deal. Yeah. This is based on
on a true story.
A true story, you know. And not only that, with the society changes that are going on right now, right?
Yeah.
You talk about how we were all from different places.
Man,
and
different.
We came together. We all had different aspirations, but we had one goal, right? And I think that's just what the society needs, is something like that, a story like that says, hey, man, we're a nation that just needs to get together and be on the same path, and we need to make better choices and have better leaders in place and move the needle that way. So, I mean, I look at that experience, and it was just, and I formulated great relationships with it, and I take those things. You know, I'm very fortunate to have the relationships that I had through Crescent and a lot of your parents. I mean, you know, it was just a pretty awesome time, and I've always held that Polar Bear Nation close to my heart, man. It was a fun few years. I wish I could have done it longer. I just got so busy that was, you know, one of the things I just had to step away because of what I had going on in my life. But I do know, I said to Spark, I'm like, I'm not leaving until these guys are out of here. But when they're out of here, I'm going to have to make a choice, you know. But no, it's all good. I appreciate you guys.
Real quick story though. I got it. Hey, so Genesis game. So before Genesis game, we made many trips to Prep Sports.
Prep Sports, yes.
So I went with, I think Jeff and Brian took me.
I went too with you. I was in there. Yeah, we was in the Jeep.
Get black tape.
Who had a Jeep, Jeff? You did or Brian?
Yeah, I did.
You did, yep.
So we had to get black tape. So Spark spray painted our cleats all black, but I had to get some black tape. So I don't know if it was Jeff or Brian. So on the way there,
man, they was just letting us know how
Brian
much high school football mean, bro.
Brian
and at 17, you don't get it.
You up for this game, CB? I was like, I'll be chilling.
Chill.
Yeah, what you mean?
Like he driving. Like,
hey, man, that's about the most intense.
Brian. Jeff was like, man, I give my left.
Yes, to play in this game
play
right
this
now.
Game. Oh, man, he looked at each other like, what is going on?
He's like, bro, this is real.
We wanted to play right now. You know, that's one of the things. You know how it was when you were done.
Oh, man.
Like, man, I don't get that feeling anymore. I want to play.
But that's what, again, we showed as a kid. You don't understand the moment.
Nope. At 17, it's cool. It's, you know.
But when I got into coaching, and I think about the big games I had as assistant coach and head coach, like I understood. I felt it.
Well, I will tell you this, and I've told this to many people. I've never seen a high school athlete totally take over a game like you did in that Genesis game. It was. I remember I was sitting up top. And Sparky's like, all right, man, all I want you to do is shout in coverages in my ear.
Yeah.
And I was just, they're in this. And he's like, our boy here is going to roll him. And I was just sitting up there like I was just in awe watching. Yeah. That was, I'll never forget that. Yeah. Like literally, I've never saw somebody at that level in high school take over a game like he did. In that game, I mean, that was
it.
I looked and I'm like, this dude
laying like that.
He's something else.
That was the game.
Yeah, but it was just fun, man, a fun time.
Oh yeah,
happy to be a part of it. So yeah, but we'll have to get the crew back together.
We got to.
It's overdue.
Yeah, it is. It is
overdue.
Yeah,
it is. We definitely got to get that in there, man. That doc though, that'd be huge.
Let's make it happen.
Oh yeah.
On that note, we're gonna wrap up. We want to thank Jeff one more time for allowing us to hang out with him today and giving us an awesome interview. If you guys haven't already, please make sure you like and subscribe. Tune in to each and episode. Make sure you let us know who you want to see us interview next. Until then, we'll guys catch you in the next one. Peace.